much as I thought I could plan a podcast, that is not going to happen. I do not have the mindset to sit here. Chop up block for block how I'm going to tell you about weight loss and weight gain. Good evening on this Thursday, May 5th, 2022. The time is 11:31 p.m. and welcome to Early in the A.M. with Isha. I had fish tacos today from Maya Riviera. It's a Mexican restaurant downtown in the city where I live. And, downtown Stanford, anyway. And tacos is good. And, what else did I eat today? I had some more rice. I had rice, a lot of rice and beans today. That's what I should say. And for breakfast, I had eggs and salmon. I also had french fries and nuggets today, too, from Wendy's. And I threw the burger away. I usually eat the double stack, but I literally finished the nuggets and my stomach threw the burger away. Like, it threw it right into the bag and was like, nope, don't need it. Is it okay that I talk on this device, that I talk about how I feel to the public without losing anything else that I've earned in my life? Always having to choose between the two. I mean, it's fun for a little while, as long as it's, not serious. And then it gets serious. All things have to get serious. It becomes life or death at some point, and then you're like, it's me or the thing. I'm like, it's always the two of you. It's never going to be one or the other. It's always going to be both. Can you live with each other? Can I help teach you how to live with one another? Is it totally impossible? I don't know if I could choose with the people I love and the things I know about them and the things they know about me. And then if I was ever to step into a higher platform with this, the vulnerability that comes with maintaining, the frame, to make sure there's no leaks and everybody is addressed accordingly, everybody knows where they are in their place, and nobody steps out of bounds, keeping the right things right. But in Drama Made Perfect, here comes the perfect drama frame challenging yours. Just trying to find anywhere where it could cause a leak, where it can physically say, this is your issue, or this is your problem, or I'm going to make it your problem. What are you going to do about it? It's scary. A lot of times I end up choosing. That's what stops me a lot. Trying to protect things that haven't happened yet, or trying to foresee something that hasn't happened yet. And so in the end, you're just like, fuck it. Is it worth it? I mean, I'm going to do this anyway. Do I have to make money with it? Is there any other way I can make money? The thing I found out about, I was watching, I have a thing for watching stuff about ancient history and things like that. And I was watching one of the episodes on the Smithsonian channel, and it talks about, the raft of El Dorado. And, it's about the ancient Aztec peoples about 500 years ago, but it's more now than 500, probably closer to 600 or over 6 than 5, but they were earth-driven people who recognized the gods of life. And they They were blessed with salt. They lived in a part of a region in Bogota, Colombia, in South America, where salt was abundant. And back then, salt was necessary for life and for health and food and all those things. So they would sell all the, they would gather salt and they would sell it for gold. And they used to not have a lot of gold, but enough where they would make like little idols out of them, little pieces of jewelry, and then they would offer them to their gods for peace or whatever. And they would, there was this lake they had. It was kind of enclosed away in the inland, and they would, get on there on a special raft. The chief of the tribe, they would sail out to the middle of the lake, and they'd offer their gold to their gods for peace. And everybody had gold in that moment. Everybody was, it wasn't a thing where there was a social class to it. In these moments, there's an idea, and it's the equator of ideas. It goes around the entire circumference of the tribe. No one is richer than the other when it comes to your life source. You need to eat, live, thrive, to be able to think, to enjoy your body in peace, your nature in peace. As long as you're adding to and you're doing your part, they were all in harmony. Certain people were, gifted for their respects and treated as such in worship, but in that same breath, living in such a time, thinking about it, where the poorest person in our eyes with such gold, it's like the road to awe. You know what I mean? It's like you see this person, it's like seeing a homeless man on the street with $1 million bags in his legs, and all he's doing is just folding the money into paper planes and just throwing them into traffic. That type of thing. How long in American culture before someone knocks him over the head and takes the money and run? You see, and now you take that same mentality and you go to this village in South America all these hundreds of years ago, all these centuries ago, and they would have children, elders, and they were all sitting around with a bag of $1 million in between their legs, and they're just playing with it with paper planes, and they're turning it to paper planes and just throwing it into a lake, and it's okay. It doesn't disturb their way of life at all. And to think about it that way, to live in a place where money isn't the offset of your life, it isn't the direction of your life, it doesn't control, the health, or it doesn't propel the power. If you just take all the power out of it, and you put it out of its hands, and you put it in the hands of spirituality and hope and having good morals and good character, that's what, on the inside, that's what I want for my family. That's what I want for the people around me. But it's so far. I think in my naivete, in me wanting to pursue the fantasy, I've kind of lost touch with that money part. Make sure the two always could, within hand's reach of each other. They get too far away, and it's like they'll get lost in the shuffle. And without that balance there's no way to propel yourself forward. There has to be a balance between the two. You can't have too much of one without the other. You gotta have good character and ethics on one side, and then you gotta have that drive and that thirst for it and that ugliness when you need it at the same time. For a long time, I went through a lot of things I didn't have to because I didn't have that balance. I didn't keep the two hand in hand. I went through a lot as, the weak female in the group for a long time. In the circles I ran, and I was always the weakest link. That's to some degree. I was always the one trying to chase the moment. I was always the one that usually slipped first or brought up the bad characteristic first. And then, a conversation with my mom I had today, she was telling me about that, about the weak-minded female in the group and what happens to them. And I sit myself down and I just count back all the times where I was made the example of being the weak one in the group. Just trying to make the group pay attention to me. Just trying so hard to be the attenter that I'm not realizing the embarrassing and the degrading things I'm subjecting myself to be that person. But not being strong enough to not let the drive to do that corner me every time, no matter how much I propel myself book smarts or school smarts or staying out of trouble, that naivete is always there. It takes years to just stand still in a place where you can recognize something in yourself, because it's like a snake in your grasses. It doesn't come up when you're good. It knows you to a fault. It only comes up when the fault shows, and there's no way you can realize that unless in a split second God, splits you down the middle long enough where you could catch it, so you can actually see what the snake looks like. So you know what to look for in a trait, so you can stop and kill it trait by trait, and then you can maim the thing, and then it stops you from doing it. And that's what I had to learn how to do. I actually had to see it for myself, see the ugliness for myself, so I know what it looks like. It's a hard thing when somebody sends you to go look for something, but you have no idea what it looks like. You just know in the moment it captures you, but you still have no idea what it is. You don't know how it moves. And then somebody shows you how ugly and disturbing the thing is, but you and yourself, you still have to take it with that grain of salt. You can't judge it. You don't want it to learn you so much that you're the goner in the situation. Yeah, it's a lot to take in. Trying to strengthen your mind, but still trying to be open-minded. Not being so naive and stupid, but still trying to be a goofball and to have fun and not be so serious. Trying to be actually business smart and savvy, but not stupid and ignorant of the rules and the practices of other people. Knowing your turn, not being a pushover. All those things. I was, wondering, now that I'm coming up on my 43rd birthday, when exactly do I, forgive life for needing what it needs and being what it is? At some point, both parties stand erect with each other in compliance. And you gotta ask God, in the 144 people you allow in heaven, can I at least be friends with one of those people? So I can at least know what you deem as acceptable. In all things rejection. All things get burned in a fire, but I know in those ashes it's enough that I'll find something beautiful. But you must have had to been turned to ashes to know such things. To be strong in such a way. To have the type of team who, they circle around you enough they can keep your mind off the stupid shit. When the stupid people come in and touch you, the right team will keep you moving in the right circle so you can bypass those things. And then you realize, you were making good decisions all along. This is all the junk people throw on the road. You gotta keep stopping your car and going around it so you don't get so messed up. You gotta stop what you're doing to fix somebody else's issue. Alright, love. I'm not gonna play any rap songs. I guess I gotta do other things with myself. Alright, love. This is it for me. Weirdness. See you when I see you. Talk to you later. As much as I thought I could plan a podcast, that is not going to happen. I do not have the mindset to sit here. Chop up block for block. how I'm going to tell you about weight loss